civilians, military personnel, and even media crews have captured a wide range of unusual objects in the skies. UFO above Pentagon, mysterious sightings in Nevada, and most shocking of them all, the California encounter. These UFO videos were confirmed by the US military, and what was caught on camera is no laughing matter. This one came from official hands, not a random phone clip. Back on January 1st, 2022, the United States European Command recorded a short 20-second infrared video from a US military platform. The footage showed a strange object drifting across the screen with a heat signature that didn't match any normal aircraft. It moved in a smooth, steady way that made the crew stop and stare. Even with all their training, they couldn't label what they were seeing. Then another case followed 2 years later. Last year, a US military camera in the Middle East captured a full minute and 36 seconds of a red, slow-moving sphere. The glow stayed round the whole time, sliding through the sky like it had its own quiet path. Reports said it was likely a spheroidal object, but even the experts didn't have a clear answer. The color, the shape, and the way it moved felt different from anything they had ever created or operated. Both clips came from trusted sources, which only made them more shocking. Hovering blue light. Near Area 51, witnesses recorded a deep blue light hanging over a mountain ridge. The object stayed in the same spot, barely shifting, while its glow pulsed with steady timing. It didn't match any known aircraft, and the calm way it hovered made the scene feel even stranger. People filming it kept their cameras on the light until the clip ended, leaving only a quiet shot of the blue glow still fixed in place. It became another moment that pushed viewers to think about how much activity might be hidden in that stretch of desert. ORB patrol. This unusual clip is also connected to Area 51, and it quickly grabbed attention for all the wrong reasons. In the footage, 3 bright orbs drift in smooth circles above what appears to be a large object resting on the desert floor. Their motion stays steady and controlled, almost giving the impression that they're scanning the scene or watching over whatever has crashed below them. The moment feels quiet, but deeply unsettling. Viewers are now debating whether this was a controlled test, a technical failure, or something far beyond anything we're meant to understand. Aliens in Guatemala? In September 2025, people living near the Gulf of Guatemala reported a strange sight in the night sky. A craft with an unusual outline moved smoothly across the air, keeping a steady path. Later, pilots mentioned that an Apache helicopter in the area briefly experienced optical interference, almost like its view systems were being disturbed. The object stayed visible only for a short time before fading into the distance. Once the video reached the internet, discussions picked up fast, and viewers kept pointing out how rare it was for a sighting to affect nearby aircraft. Silence from military. Alaska is one of the most peaceful and isolated places, but still, things turned serious when residents received an alert from the US military about a strange object drifting above the coastline. Jets were rushed into the air to check it out. Even up close, pilots couldn't agree on what they were seeing. Some said their sensors glitched for no reason. Others said the object had no wings, no engines, and nothing keeping it in the air. Yet it held steady at nearly 40,000 feet. Officials stayed quiet afterward, leaving people with a feeling that this might have been one of the closest brushes with something truly unknown. Jacksonville blockade.
Nice flashes. Oh, wow.
The crash reported in Jacksonville on September 22nd, 2019, continues to stand out as one of the most puzzling UFO videos ever shared. The main witness tried getting closer to the crash site, but said the military immediately stopped him, which made the whole situation feel suspicious. His contacts disagreed on what actually fell that night, leaving many gaps in the story. As months passed, people started connecting this incident to other strange events around the world. With so many pieces matching up in unexpected ways, the case still felt like it held a hidden chapter no one had uncovered. Rapid ascent. Near the same location as the previous sighting, a witness secretly recorded a moment that quickly drew attention online. The clip showed a large circular metallic craft lowering itself onto empty desert land. It stayed still for a brief moment, holding its position without producing any visible disturbance. Then, in one sudden movement, it rose straight up into the sky with controlled speed that didn't resemble any known technology. After the footage spread, people began comparing it to past incidents reported near restricted bases, trying to understand what kind of craft could perform a lift like that. Pentagon UFO. On a cold night in December 2018, several people driving near the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. noticed something strange hanging above the sprawling five-sided building. Floating high over the complex was a massive, dark, pyramid-shaped object. The object appeared enormous, its edges sharp and geometric, forming a perfect triangular pyramid that contrasted against the night clouds drifting behind it. It wasn't shaped like any aircraft known to fly over the area. There were no wings, no engines, and could sometimes be seen flashing lights. Drivers pulled out their phones and began recording from different angles. In every recording, the object looked the same, a solid, three-sided craft, dark enough to appear almost matte against the sky, yet defined enough that its shape was unmistakable. After hovering quietly over the Pentagon, the pyramid began to drift upward, maintaining its orientation as it slowly ascended into the sky. Within seconds, it disappeared in front of eyewitnesses. The U.S. military and Pentagon have confirmed these videos to be authentic. Grand UFO. Inside the Grand Canyon in Arizona, a video posted by Jerry Marincantero on November 16th, 5 years ago, captured an unusual object drifting between the canyon walls. The shape looked white, almost glowing, and moved forward without changing direction. The recording stayed clear enough to show its calm, smooth path above the rocks. Some viewers believed it could be a natural light effect, while others insisted it looked more like a controlled craft. Whatever it was, the short clip kept people talking about what might really be passing through remote places like the canyon. Desert Tracker. A man driving through a quiet part of Nevada captured something unusual beside him in the sky. The object moved at the same pace as his car, gliding with steady motion that didn't match any normal aircraft. Even in the dark, its bright outline stayed clear as it kept a smooth, controlled path. The sight felt even more unsettling because he was only 19 miles from Area 51, a place long linked to hidden testing. Viewers who later watched the clip pointed out how stable the object looked, as if it was observing the scene rather than passing through it. Hidden retrieval. Near Area 51, a man walking along a quiet desert road spotted a round craft resting on the ground. It had the exact shape people have described for years. He started recording, but before he could get any closer, several men in black appeared and surrounded the object. They lifted it with practiced ease and placed it into a waiting vehicle, as if the whole thing was part of a routine operation. The clip ended shortly after. The way they handled the craft made the moment feel planned and controlled, leaving viewers shocked by how many similar scenes have gone unseen. Desert crash. This footage captured a white, oval-shaped object falling toward the desert near Area 51 back in 1996. At first, it looked like plane debris dropping from the sky, but then something unusual happened. Right before hitting the ground, the object shifted direction in a smooth, controlled way, almost as if it tried to pull up. It bounced once, stayed in one solid piece, and disappeared into a cloud of dust. Not far from the crash site, something even more unsettling. In the wooded parts of Pahranagat Valley, a hiker recorded a pale, thin creature standing between the trees. Its limbs looked long, its head seemed large, and its eyes looked completely dark. Then came this video, recorded in the same region, showing a similar creature moving quietly through the woods. The shape The height and the dark eyes all matched the first sighting, making it hard to call these clips unrelated. Because of these recordings, many UFO followers believe that the crash of 1996 wasn't just another strange moment in the desert. Kremlin infiltration. Footage taken in Moscow on December 18, 2009 remains one of the most talked about events in modern UFO history. The clips show a massive pyramid-shaped object hovering above the Kremlin, with some witnesses estimating it could have been nearly a mile wide. What makes this case even more unusual is that two separate recordings surfaced. One filmed at night from inside a moving car, and another captured during the day by amateurs. Both videos aired repeatedly on Russian news channels at the time, drawing national attention. Officials quickly dismissed the idea of a UFO, yet police never gave a clear explanation. According to those who were there, the object stayed in place for hours above Red Square, drifting over one of the most heavily monitored locations in the world. Orb in New York. A moment on live TV left New York viewers stunned. During a normal helicopter shot over the Hudson River, a small orb rushed past the camera, smooth, fast, and surprisingly close. At first, it looked white and almost see-through, but as it curved away, the orb shifted into a soft blue glow, changing its look in one continuous motion. People watching immediately called it a UFO. Some experts tried to explain it as a reflection or a drone, but the object's movement didn't match either one. Even after the clip aired, the mystery stayed alive, and many still wonder what actually passed by that helicopter. Shocking moment in Florida. Passengers on a flight over Tampa, Florida were enjoying the calm, clear day when something unexpected appeared beside the plane. A saucer-shaped craft showed up out of nowhere, glowing with soft green lights that made it impossible to miss. It hovered for only a few seconds, just long enough for everyone to see its shape and color, before it moved away, faster than anything they had ever seen in the sky. The cabin fell silent as people tried to understand what had just happened. For those on that flight, the memory stayed sharp long after they landed. Orbs over Italian mountain. In Monreale, Palermo, on October 24, 2024, something strange was captured on top of a mountain. 3 identical shiny orbs remained at the single spot for quite some time. It looked as though they had been waiting to finish off some gathering process. Not sure about that, but shockingly, they then disappeared in speeds that disapproved any possibility of them being drones, balloons, or aircraft. Beach encounter. This video from 17 years ago captured a massive UFO hovering low above the trees near an unknown beach. The footage was surprisingly clear, enough to show the size of the craft and the strange shape it had. It moved slowly, almost floating in place, like it was watching the shoreline below. The light patterns on its surface shifted in a way that felt organized, almost controlled, and nothing about it matched any known aircraft. The clip ended without warning, leaving only a few seconds of footage to study. Even with that short glimpse, many viewers said it looked unlike anything ever seen before. Skyline encounters. People driving through Costa Rica on December 17th, 6 years ago, suddenly slowed down when a smooth, flying saucer-shaped object appeared in the sky. Drivers stepped out, phones in hand, trying to capture the moment as the craft hovered in place. It stayed steady long enough for everyone to get a clear look, then drifted off into the distance as quietly as it arrived. The clip still makes viewers replay it again and again, hoping to figure out what they were actually seeing. Saucer in Seattle. On the 1st of February 2019, another saucer-shaped craft was seen over Seattle, and it quickly drew attention online. People wondered why so many sightings seemed to happen across the United States and Canada, especially around major cities. Not long after, strange noises echoed across parts of Seattle, making the story even more unsettling. Later claims suggested that satellites malfunctioned in early 2020, and that unusual objects may have been moved between secret facilities. All of this only pushed more people to watch the skies and follow every new report. Jellyfish object. The Jellyfish UFO, nicknamed the Spaghetti Monster by people stationed at the base, was recorded over a U.S. joint operations site in Iraq around 2018. It was captured through a thermal infrared camera, showing a strange shape drifting with movements that didn't match any aircraft. The Pentagon later labeled it a UAP. Michael Sinkoski, a Marine who worked in intelligence at the site, confirmed he had been shown the full video. He said the staff who reviewed it couldn't agree on what the object was. Even today, this one keeps people guessing. Cloudline shape. During a flight, passengers were relaxing when someone noticed something unusual floating above the cloud line, far higher than anything was supposed to be. At around 35,000 feet, a wide, flat shape hovered quietly as if it belonged there. It didn't move much, didn't flash lights, and didn't match anything people recognized. It almost blended in with the sky, which made the sight feel even stranger. Cylindrical object. In December 2020, a video uploaded on a channel that posts extraterrestrial encounters showed a bright green object drifting above Nevada, close to Area 51. The shape looked long and smooth, almost like a glowing cylinder sliding through the night air. Around it, smaller green lights hovered close by, moving in slow patterns. The uploader didn't share an exact filming date, only saying it was captured not long before the post. Even though the clip lasted only a moment, the strange formation made viewers pause and study each frame, wondering what kind of craft could move like that. Curious case of Varginha. Back in 1996, the town of Varginha lived through one of Brazil's most talked about mysteries. A security guard said he spotted a small, unusual figure standing in an open field. Its shape didn't match anything he knew, and word spread fast. Soon, the Brazilian army arrived and took control of the area. Photos and stories moved through the town for years after that night, and the case is still just as mysterious. Orb cluster. Near Area 51, a bright round orb stayed suspended above the desert, holding its position with calm, steady movement. The person recording tried to follow it, and when they turned the camera toward the opposite side of the sky, smaller glowing shapes were drifting in the distance. Each one carried the same soft light, almost matching the main orb. The scene felt quiet, but deeply out of place, as if something unusual was unfolding across the entire horizon. With multiple shapes appearing at the same time, this sighting raised more questions than anyone expected. Desert figure. While driving through a remote stretch of Nevada, a group of friends pulled over after noticing movement on the empty road ahead. When they stepped out, a pale, thin humanoid shape slowly walked across their path. Its long frame and quiet steps made the moment feel tense and unnatural. The friends backed away and rushed into their car, unsure of what they had just seen in the open desert. What do you think this figure was? Kindly let me know in the comments below.
Close the trunk! Close the trunk!
Latvia Pyramid. Footage filmed in 1968 at the Skolta military airfield near Riga remains one of the most guarded and unsettling claims from the Soviet era. Cameraman Zigords Dudins, working with the Riga film studio, was recording jet tests for a state documentary when pilots radioed in something unexpected, an enormous pyramid-shaped object hovering far above the airfield. It was 12 miles in altitude, far higher than any known balloon or aircraft should have been. According to the witnesses, the structure seemed to show movement inside, as if something was shifting within the geometric shape. Despite its massive size, military operators reported no radar signature, making the sight even harder to explain. Jets were ordered to intercept, but before they could approach, the object shot upward with impossible speed and vanished instantly. Dudins managed to capture around 20 seconds of the event on 35mm film before the KGB seized everything. None of the objects suggested like NATO spy balloons matched the object's altitude, triangular structure, control, or instant acceleration. This footage only resurfaced after historical investigations, with the History Channel showing it as one of the most mysterious UFO incidents ever connected to the Soviet military. Brazil Orbs. The sky over Brazil looked strange on May 28th when a craft hovered in complete silence and released glowing red orbs toward the ground. Each orb slipped down slowly, almost as if the air carried it. The whole scene gave the night a quiet, otherworldly glow. People who watched it later said it felt like the start of something much bigger, not just a random sighting. Canada UFO collision. This unusual clip comes from deep inside the taiga forests of Canada, recorded on October 26, 2019. A group of tourists was walking through the trees when they caught a strange moment on camera, a large saucer-shaped craft slipping between the branches and colliding with part of the forest canopy. The object didn't fall apart the way a normal aircraft would. Instead, it kept its shape and drifted forward, almost like the impact didn't affect it at all. But why have flying saucers in recent years been extremely active? The first answer is that they are testing extraterrestrial plants on our planet. The second answer, experiment with alien species on the planet's native habitat. What do you think? Add your theories in the comments section, and let's engage. Desert Triangle. This large triangular craft was seen flying across the sky of an undisclosed site, and anyone who looked up could see its sharp edges and steady lights blinking at each corner. The way it moved felt calm and controlled, almost too perfect to be anything familiar. People tried linking it to drones or a secret test program, but nothing known moved with this kind of smooth precision. After a few long moments, it slipped into a layer of clouds and vanished. It's difficult to identify what exactly it was, considering so little is known about the incident. Shocking proof. On January 12th of this year, a video started circulating online showing rare photos and old footage captured by a Swiss photographer who wanted to remain anonymous for safety reasons. Some of the material dated back to the 1970s, which made the story even stranger. He claimed the crafts in his images weren't from our world at all, but were linked to a distant star cluster known as the Pleiades. According to him, these visitors carried advanced knowledge, tools, and ideas far beyond anything we understand. Some people believed his claims. But what about you? Let me know in the comments, and I'll share my belief. Red Triangle Craft. In May 2022, a couple in Ontario spotted a triangular craft drifting above them. The shape was clean and solid, and right at its center was a single bright red light. It didn't blink or shift. It stayed steady the entire time the craft moved overhead. Many people believe triangular objects are among the most advanced, unidentified crafts ever seen, and this sighting only added more curiosity to that idea. As the couple recorded it, the red light stayed perfectly centered, giving the whole moment an unusual and controlled feel. Cube at high altitude. During a routine flight, the crew noticed something approaching them at an unbelievable speed. At first, they thought it was a drone or another aircraft, but when it came closer, the shape didn't match anything known. It was a dark cube, smooth on all sides, moving with perfect control. It passed their window faster than anything they were trained to expect. Stories about strange objects in the air had circulated for years, but seeing one up close changed the way they looked at the sky forever. Fiery path. People looked up as something fast streaked across the sky, leaving a bright, fiery tail that lit up the whole area. The glow was strong, but the shape didn't look like any rocket or aircraft people were familiar with. It moved in a straight, confident line, almost like it had a set destination. In just a few seconds, it crossed the entire horizon and vanished, leaving behind a shining trail that didn't seem natural at all. Isn't that right? Beeman Forest. Back in December 1980, trained U.S. military personnel at a nuclear base saw two bright lights drifting across the night sky. Before they could react, one of those lights sent a solid beam straight to the ground just a few steps in front of them. It moved slowly around the area, almost as if it was checking the ground. Then the main light split into 5 smaller ones that rushed away at incredible speed.
And it starts manipulating, staying away from them. Then splits into 5 pieces and zips off. As I recall, 2 of them come over and shoot a beam at his feet.
2 of them circled back and dropped another beam near one soldier's feet. The next day, they found a perfect triangle-shaped mark pressed into the forest floor, along with radiation levels higher than normal. Officials tried to calm the situation, but they were extremely unsuccessful in doing so. Area 51. Photos. Viewers were caught off guard when a man claiming to be a scientist from Area 51 suddenly went live and began showing pictures he said he took inside the base. He didn't talk much. He just flipped through each photo slowly, letting the images speak for themselves. One of them showed a small figure with features that didn't match any person or animal we know. Its shape, its face, even the texture of its skin looked completely unfamiliar. The calm, steady way he shared everything made the moment feel even more serious. Watching it, you can't help but wonder what might truly be hidden behind those restricted doors. Mysterious light in yard.
What is that?
In Palmdale, California, a family stepped outside after noticing a strange glow above their home. A craft was drifting slowly across the sky with a bright, steady beam shining straight down toward their yard. They pulled out a phone right away, and the video shows the light spreading across the ground in a calm, controlled way. The craft barely made a sound as it held its position, almost like it was taking a quiet look before moving on. The whole scene felt unreal to the family, and they kept replaying the clip later that night, trying to understand what had passed over their home.
Hey, seriously.
Circular orb. A man heading home late at night in Bakersfield, California, spotted something unusual in the sky and recorded it from his car window. Above him, the clouds shaped themselves into a strange circle, and just beneath it, a bright glowing orb hovered quietly in the dark. The scene felt calm, but completely out of the ordinary, and the clip spread fast once it hit the internet. With no clear explanation from anyone, people kept sharing their thoughts, hoping to find an answer that could satisfy their never-ending curiosity. Pine Gap sighting. People in Australia once filmed something unusual near Pine Gap, the restricted base often compared to the country's own Area 51. The site sat southwest of Alice Springs and was widely known for satellite programs and long-running rumors. In the clip, a small object shot across the clear desert sky with sharp, fast movement. It stood out against the empty landscape, and the recording quickly stirred interest online. Australia had dealt with strange sightings before, and this one added even more questions about what happened around isolated military areas. Coastal descent. Off the coast of Los Angeles, a massive white object was recorded plunging into the ocean. Its shape and size stood out immediately, unlike any usual aircraft seen over the water. People on nearby boats aimed their phones at the scene, capturing the object's final moments before it disappeared beneath the surface. Witnesses on shore also recorded the bright outline sinking into the waves. No officials gave any explanation afterward, which only increased the attention around the clip. Many viewers began connecting the sighting to earlier reports of unidentified craft moving between the sky and the ocean with multi-state sighting. This footage was sent to us from someone in New York that captured the incident on 14th October. The anonymous source recorded a bright object moving through the sky with slow, controlled motion. The clip was passed to a longtime researcher who immediately pointed out how closely it matched a well-known sighting from Alabama 15 years ago. Soon after, images from Florida appeared online showing what looked like the same object drifting at the same pace. Reports from Quebec and Vancouver followed, hinting that this craft might have traveled across long distances in a short amount of time. Sightings like this always leave a trail of curiosity behind them. Time for today's subscribers' pick of the day. UFOs have been spotted in different states like Carolina and Ohio, but our main visual is unlike ever seen before. On the night of January 12th, 2009, someone in Pasadena, California, pointed their camera toward the sky and captured something that still looks strange today. Hanging high above the city was a bright object that didn't behave like a plane or a star. As the camera zoomed in, the light took on a sharp diamond shape, glowing with intensity that felt almost unnatural against the dark sky. The shape was unmistakably that of a diamond, especially if you look at its edges. The object was clearly behaving like a prism. The middle was white light with a glowing dot in the middle, but the sides were emitting strong cyan colors. But just 2 days later on 14th, it was captured in Belarus. The object didn't move much like a normal aircraft would. Instead, it seemed to hover in place, holding its form, and remained locked onto Pasadena and Belarus. In both instances, the people weren't able to record it disappearing because, according to them, it vanished, like how stars disappear during dawn. This short video became one of the more memorable early YouTube UFO clips because of how defined the object was. A geometric, steady, diamond-shaped craft filmed over a busy city on a random night, with no explanation ever released.